They talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness. They talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness, talking all of this madness. They talking all of this madness.
What's up, everybody? You are watching, you are listening to the Matt Madness Network live on YouTube. I'm your host, Alo, and Lloyd. Clap it up, clap it up. Yes, thank you. I'm joined by my guy, the OTP, Eric Trembig. How you doing, baby?
Doing phenomenal. How about you, my friend?
All right, we've been going for about 3 weeks now. Let's get to it. So, Survivor Series was trash. We had JC Jane won the NXT Women's title. We had Maxine win the WIC title. We had Fallon win the Speed title.
This isn't even a pay-per-view!
Yes, so that did happen. So, Festy, what have you been up to?
You know, more the same as the old. Living and loving.
Did you watch
drinking
anything?
and winking?
Did you watch anything?
I watched that Survivor Series, the weekly stuff. Winter is coming. I just watched AEW Dynamite. Got the first ever women's tag champions. Good match, good excitement there. All right, the Wrath Babes or whatever the hell they're calling themselves. Nothing really too much. But, most of my weekly shows are on hiatus right now because of the holidays and because of the season. So I was really out of the ordinary. I've been watching, keeping up to date with some podcasts, getting ready for big matches. Last match.
Did you watch John Cena on Chris Van Vliet or listen to John Cena on Chris Van Vliet?
I did. Did you?
Yeah, I listened to it today. I thought it was really good. I liked his perspective on things.
Our truth is beautiful.
Beautiful black man. I did like his perspective on things. Did it transition the best on television for the fans? No, he didn't answer. He didn't kind of answer the elephant in the room about the Rock situation. So who knows if we're going to even get anything ever out of that. Especially from him, but I did think that
top tier deflecting, and at the end of the day, someone in his role, you gotta expect him to deflect. It's the show's releasing the week before his final match. Why just it's the number one complaint about wrestling fans, in my opinion. All we do is complain to an extent. Cool, it's always fun to speculate. It's fun in 2025 to say, man, imagine if we ever did get The Rock versus Shawn Michaels, if we got this dream match, this or that. But live and during this year, it's not his job to dwell on what they could have done. But we do have up and coming young rising star, did a little bit on YouTube before, Logan Paul, who is talking about Travis Scott and what he could have done and why he probably isn't doing it.
At least that came out.
Same week too, which was amazing timing.
Yeah, at least that came out. That was actually something really good to get out of that because we get an answer to that. We heard Travis Scott, WWE was going to end their affiliation with him, and that's a perfect reason why that actually does that actually did end. And I'm glad we kind of got that clarification on that. And did you watch Triple H on Complex? With the tour of WWE headquarters came out I think Survivor Series week. Yes,
obviously with the clip that there was going to be him talking about that championship wall in his office, I had my attention. The length of the episode could have been talked about just in that room around that wall, but that's me being me.
Yeah, I did pop for the oval block logo IC that he had in the office. I really did pop for that. It was great to see because we haven't really gotten a real look at the new WWE headquarters since they moved from Titan Tower.
Couldn't believe that his European title wasn't in there, but whatever.
I know, it was the coveted one. Maybe because I have it, but that could be the main reason. But yeah, I thought it was really good, really interesting to see. We don't really get behind the scenes from that. It was good to see JLP appreciate the WWE headquarters. So I did watch that. Now there's someone to talk about. You can kind of just sit back. It's nothing you did or anything, but I just got it. I got to do this because, all right. So Eagles. fuck was that? What are y'all doing? Honestly, like, what is going on? Like, I truly don't get this. What is going on? Y'all, Bestie, I'm a nice guy. I'm a humble person. I apologize when I'm wrong. I really do. But y'all got me fucked up if I'm gonna apologize to Cowboy fans again. Because y'all had me talking all this trash when we have 21-0, and I had to go back and to my Instagram and apologize to Cowboy fans. What is
That was a bad look.
What humbly did. What is this offense? Why are you so predictable? Why is the offensive line getting pushed back to Saquon before Saquon even gets a yard? They fall into Saquon. Kirk Herbstreit is telling you what happened. And it happens exactly right when it happens. Why every time Will Shipley in the game, we know it's pass? What is going on? Nick Sirianni, what do you do? Honestly, like, what do you do? This is more and more like the OC's team every single year, because every time there's success, the OC get higher and then they're gone. And then after that, it's trash. What is going on? Like, y'all got me fucked up. I sat there and got to watch this shit. They're going to lose to the Raiders. I'm telling you this shit right now. They're going to lose to the Raiders. I want no affiliate. Like, I'm so pissed off at this team. Like, I'm wearing a McNabb jersey. This ain't no Mitchell and Ness. I'm wearing a McNabb jersey because I don't want to even stand y'all. Jalen Hurts, I don't need to see you looking like you in an episode of Fresh Prince. I don't need love Hurts. No, fuck that. Interceptions hurt. Losses hurt. Fumbles hurt. What is going on? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I don't understand what the hell is going on with this team. I don't even want to even. I don't want to see.
Did you forget interceptions hurt?
I think I did say that about interception. I don't want no affiliation with this current rendition of this team at this moment in time. The only thing I don't want to see nothing about on Birds unless it's a 30-piece. And I don't want to see nothing about Kelly Green. Only Kelly that acknowledges my BFF, Kelly. Hi, Kelly. That's it. That is it. That is it. I'm so over this nonsense. Get y'all shit together, please. Not back to wrestling.
Don't need to have Aaron staying up till midnight just for that shit.
Yeah, not back to wrestling. Jelly Bean 6741. Thanks for watching. Welcome to the show. Thank you.
What up, Jelly Bean?
All right. So, we're going to get started this. So, Mercedes Moné, while we were away, she challenged Chris Statlander for the AEW Women's World Championship, and she lost that match. And then she also had a unification match for Red Velvet, which she did win, but over the weekend at ROH Final Battle, Mercedes lost the title to Red Velvet. And post-match, she crashed out. Even crashed out backstage. An excellent crash out, by the way. I thought it was really well done. And then she was met by Layla Gray. Layla Gray challenged her to a match of Collision for the TBS Championship, and Mercedes ends up winning that match and retaining the title. Now, we've been talking about this all year about what a downfall for Mercedes would actually look like. And in the last few weeks, she's lost the big one with the AEW Women's World Championship, and she's also lost the TV title, as I just stated. So, what do you think is going to happen with Mercedes Moné at this moment in time? Like, is the downfall going to continue? Because we kept saying, how is this going to look on TV when she actually starts to lose these titles, and will she continue to spiral out of control? And the fact that she has not won the big one also has made her story really well. What do you think?
Man, so it seems like the writing's on the wall that this is going to be where she's going to start dropping the belts, maybe go to a lot of these smaller promotions and do some favors. I wanted to mention this like a week or two ago on the show where, 13 belts, Moné, with, obviously the Ring of Honor TV title being the 13th belt. End of the day, she is a mark for belts. I felt like that was a beautiful opportunity for her to make herself 14 belts, Moné, because when she was the interim champion, and then when she unified became undisputed TV champion, she should have took Red Velvet's red strap belt and had both. And then I was like, all right, I felt like this was something fishy and was going to be the start of it, because it's like she's running around. She's still got the Owen, which she's that champion, but that's not something she's going to defend. So why not have two versions of another belt just to help rank it up? So I do think this is going to be the beginning of her doing some favors, eventually dropping pretty much everything up until I'm guessing the TBS title will be the last one she drops, unless she drops the TBS. And then I think it'll be beautiful for indie wrestling if she goes around, drops 6 to 10 of these belts that, unfortunately don't have like huge meanings. But if she were to like drop the TBS title first, I would anticipate she's just going to vacate all those belts and then they'll figure out. But if she's going to go around, do favors, and make stars out of, half a dozen people, great for her and great for the industry.
Yeah. So I kind of like the idea of her like crashing out and losing everything, but then finally winning the big one, because we talked about this the entire time. It's like, okay, like all the belts thing has been overdone for the last 10 years by pretty much everybody. She's pretty much the one, her and probably Austin Aries were the only one that actually kind of like brought these things to television. But she's
oh
the one
my
who's
God, you can't say Austin did it better than Kenny.
No, I'm not saying that. Well,
I was going to say, I don't even remember what belts Austin Aries had.
No, the Kenny thing kind of flew over my head.
Yeah.
Kenny Omega did it as well. But
yeah,
the whole
and don't get me wrong, like whether she goes on and starts dropping these belts now or does it for months, I think her going around being a belt collector was the best thing for her Mercedes persona and character, because I think any Mercedes / Sasha haters, especially when like she went and like she left WWE, I think it took a little while for them, and like you even said, like for her to find her character. But those people who were like, they were just hating and hating, and then all of a sudden, like she's out there giving banger and banger, and then it's like, oh, okay, this like, yeah, she still got it. She's really still all that. She's really still one of the best women's wrestlers now and of all time. So I don't think it's, I don't know how many times we've seen someone with one belt and we're like, all right, just get it off them. They're doing nothing with it. And I think her with all these belts has been great for her character.
Yeah. And the down, like this scene, the crash out, I think is worth it. And the downfall is going to be the perfect way for her to probably finally like kind of like pick herself back up by winning the AEW Women's World Championship. That's the main thing that somewhat she make the argument that started it all of her downfall, was losing that match again for the AEW Women's World title, and that she has yet to be able to obtain it. So I'm looking forward to what happens with Mercedes Moné in 2026, because she's had a great year, and we talked about it through the entire year. She's completely redeemed herself from what we got from her in her first year in AEW. So salute to Mercedes for that. Now, going to the WWE side, the rumors are running heavy, and it is also confirmed that Bron Breakker will be challenging CM Punk for the heavyweight championship of the world in the first Raw of 2026.
Netflix anniversary.
Yep. And also that the rumors also going around that Bron's going to be positioned to become the face of Raw / WWE. And allegedly he's supposed to defeat CM Punk or whoever the heavyweight champion of the world is at WrestleMania, and eventually down the road have a match with Roman Reigns, and that'll be somewhat the passing of the torch to Bron Breakker. Now, Bron Breakker, he's had a really good year. Former Intercontinental Championship run was amazing. And I know we're both big fans of Bron Breakker, but do you think he's ready to become the next guy?
Hell yeah. I think it's like very, very equivalent to Orton in Evolution / even a little more ahead of it. I think he cuts the promo just like his family. But like obviously like right now, 2020, 2016, 2010, Orton could go out there and cut a great promo. In Orton's early part of his career, he was not great on the mic. He wasn't composed. And like Bron's being Bron is part of his gimmick. He's not going to be out there cutting a Cena-esque promo. He's not going to be, what do you want to talk about? But he's got the look. He's fun. He's been a heel his whole time on the main roster, but like the guy gets insane cheers. So he can play either role. Again, the look, he can perform. He's not bad in the ring. There's very little bad about him, and it's only good. And the the world is in his hands. I'm here for it. Looking forward to his first world title reign coming 2026.
Yeah, well, Braun Breaker, they're revving it up right now, and you can easily tell that. With Seth Rollins out, you know that this was actually sped up. You can clearly tell that, and they're doing a real good job right now, like position. Like he's taking the forefront and part of the vision, being the focal point of that group, and being a marquee. And I'm super excited. I've been a big fan of Braun Breaker, and we'll talk about this in a second. But the changing of the guard has to happen. And we have to build these new stars, because even like if you look at the WrestleMania poster, when it comes to all the guys, all those guys are over 40 years old, pretty much. And the hardest thing to do with wrestling, all these fans they can also relate, is the transition period, because the transition period between generations is not the easiest thing to take. And everybody's not going to be so accepting of the new people as a lot of people were in our age group when it came to when Rock and Austin left. People didn't like Batista, people didn't like Randy Orton and things like that. And after they were out. So the transition period right now is important. And I believe Braun Breaker can be a top guy. My only thing is with him is I wish it was for the WWE Championship, because in a way, you'll see where I'm going with this. The heavyweight championship of the world kind of feels secondary, and I don't think it'll go into super intercontinental title territory like it did in the early 2010s. But I think if you're going to give it to Braun Breaker, you got to strap the rocket to his back, and you got to give him everything he actually needs to succeed. Because I really do think that he got to be the next big thing in WWE.
So I don't know when, and I think it was like rumored to happen months ago, but like if they were going to do a draft and shake it up and then go move those world titles to SmackDown, and like they want to keep them on Raw, I could see that happening. But I think overall for the past year or two, they've done a decent job of making both championships seem important. And I may be wrong, but I would say they've done a good job with the heavyweight title, trying to keep it as important as the WWE Championship, where clearly now maybe in the Ruthless Aggression time, especially with Triple H held it, like it was time that like, all right, cool, it seems important. But from my point of view, as a championship mark, as a wrestling fan, you always look at it like the WWE title is more important than the World Heavyweight title. But at the end of the day, especially if he's going to be facing someone like CM Punk, who is like uber babyface, nostalgia, the name value, everything there, if he's dethroning a guy like him to become World Heavyweight Champion, I mean, you really can't ask for much more.
Yeah, so we're going to go to the guy who's in charge of putting Braun Breaker in position and everybody in position, and that is
your number one.
Homage. So, again, as always, after Survivor Series, the internet is coming for Triple H again. And
they're coming for him every week.
and his booking and his decisions. So, with that being said, do you think it? Well, actually, before I say this, like we already know that during the Vince era, we knew how formulaic everybody is and how everybody does things, especially when it came to Vince and Triple H did his thing to NXT. So we knew what to expect from both brands. Now, with Triple H taking over the main roster for the last couple of years, I think this has probably been the worst year at a time. We have gotten big moments, but I think as a collective, this has been the worst year if I had to rank all the years under the Triple H umbrella. It's time for Triple H to change his formula and change the game a bit.
No, because if this is his worst year, so we went through everything he did for us in the pandemic and after, and the beautiful 2013 and 2022 was fire, and 2024 was amazing, one of the greatest wrestling years of all time. And if 2025 is a bad wrestling year, awesome. because I got back into wrestling in 2011, and this is better than 2011. And I was watching in 2012, and 2025 was better than 2012, and it was better than 2014, and it was better than 2015. And yeah, like cool, like some stuff's predictable, but at the end of the day, it's not like growing up 30 years with Vince and you know what's going to happen every single week. So, I mean, there's still some surprise element to me, and I don't turn on wrestling just to fucking complain. So, it's not offending me. I like the GMs he has on both shows. I'm entertained by the in between segments backstage. And look, Survivor Series wasn't what it was the past 3 years. I didn't think it overall sucked. I mean, I think overall I was sports entertained by it. I thought the finish of the men's match was very flat. I loved the Intercontinental Championship match. The women's championship, yeah, obviously very skippable. The women's War Games match, I was entertained. It wasn't blood and guts, but it was a good match. So yeah, I'm probably gonna be the last person trying to crucify Triple H for what he's done booking wise so far.
So when it comes to Triple H booking, like you can see where he kind of has like a hard time. You can clearly see the discrepancies in the way he books things. And now I will say that there are a lot of things I do like that he does. I like the fact that he makes Raws and SmackDowns feel special. Like they don't feel like just all right. I don't like there's just some random stuff happening. He builds like big matches to it. One thing I don't want to say I do like the smaller pay-per-view cards. I do think he can kind of extend that a little bit, maybe another match or two, because I think a lot of times these pay-per-views, like they have these really long matches, and I think you can actually there's other things that you can actually put on these pay-per-views that deserve to be on a higher level than actually on a Raw or SmackDown. And the one thing that I really think that he really needs to do, and I don't knock them for doing it because this is just business 101, and it's limit the bloodline stuff. You know, like when you need something, and this is about the formula thing. We talked about this with how Survivor Series has become pretty much dated as an event. And for the last few years, like, all right, we go to Bloodlines teaming up. We know that's going to happen. We're going to get some iteration of that. And then throughout the year, Roman Reigns, like the one thing that I'm getting aggravated about is like the way the returns are handled. You know, it's the same thing. Roman Reigns comes out for the big 4 pay-per-views and whatever, so on and so forth. Those are the things that I think are the biggest flaws. And of course, I've been critical of how he books the women, but I see where he does have a hard time at times with actually juggling all this stuff. But I do like the fact that like I said, I've also said that some things like some people are underexposed. He's not overexposing anybody. He's underexposing a lot of people. I do think that as well, because I do think a lot of things deserve a little bit more time than he actually does. But I do like the fact that people backstage, like if you don't see them actually outside in the ring, kind of promo or things like that, you do see some kind of backstage sitting with them with that. And that might be the only thing you get for a week or two, but then it's going to build to something else, and they'll build to that pay-per-view, to that Raw and SmackDown.
Yeah.
So
there's definitely people that are getting dropped and lost in the shuffle and the mix of things. However, his father-in-law did that so many times.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like I said, like when Triple H first took over, we knew exactly who was going to be out here. We knew all the Vince dance gimmicks and all the goofiness was actually going to be gone and things like that. But I do enjoy Triple H product, but as I know it's a flawed product, but it's a lot better than in my opinion, than what we were actually getting when we had Vince around.
Yeah, it can't be perfect all the damn time. I mean, it's like the damn Eagles. You're going to have a game you're going to love, and then you're going to have a game you're fucking embarrassed to be a fan. You're going to have a year where 2020, last year, wrestling pretty damn cool again. Then this year, the hell are they doing? But, some weeks they get it. Sometimes they don't. I mean, they're doing a good job making a lot of these mid-card titles, I would say, over the past couple months, making them important. Chelsea Green having the U.S. title again makes it more important. Becky Lynch might not be the IC champion, but all the stuff she does on social media, everything the New Day does, taunting Adam Pearce, Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis, what they do. Adam Pearce, honestly, I haven't. All right, so Triple H has had WWE for how many years? What would we call it? 2 years, 4 years, 5 years?
About three and a half.
So at least 3.5. So I'm gonna say this is definitely pre-COVID. I probably did this in 2018, maybe 16, 2019 at least. I don't follow WWE on social media. I follow a million wrestling accounts. Instagram, I don't follow WWE. If I there was so much crap. I think I saw that page was posting. Slash, I just I was probably disenchanted with the product to an extent. But if it's like, all right, cool, it's 8 a.m. Monday, or it's 1 p.m. or crap, Raw's on tonight. Am I gonna watch it? I go to Adam Pearce's page. Sometimes on Sunday too, he'll post a hype clip about it, and he'll make a joke, and he'll say something about love somebody today, and he'll read a text message from Becky, and I'm like, what Adam Pearce is doing on his personal social media gets me more interested in Raw than anything WWE's social media account's going to do.
Oh, and you did mention the women's title match at Survivor Series. Nikki Bella.
Lord have mercy.
Lord have mercy, but go the fuck home.
Touche. All right, so also at Survivor Series, in the men's War Games match, we had a masked man, cost CM Punk, Cody Rhodes, and
it was Danhausen.
cost his team the War Games match. And the internet, as always, they had goofy, like, oh my god, I know, I could tell by his body size. Oh my god, look at his eye. I could
tell by the miles per hour he went up the steps.
Yeah, it's going to be. It's this person. Like, no, look, man, that person's going to be whoever until they decide who it actually is going to be. And people are like, oh my god, it's Chris Jericho. Could it be Chris Jericho? But could it be Chris Jericho? Sure, but his ass is not doing no damn curb stomps. He is not. All
right, hold on. I could see him doing a curb stomp. I don't see him climbing up the cage that gracefully.
Like I said, it could be anybody at this point. But when they
could be James Ellsworth.
Could be. But we have some time to could be. But we have some time to find out who it is. And
could be Donovan Lloyd.
By his program, guys. So we have some time to figure out who it could be. Everybody's been speculating. The speculation has been it's been Austin Theory because he was supposed to be in this match allegedly. And in my opinion, I think that would be flat, especially for how drawn out it actually is. This is kind
when he comes back, he's got to be a babyface. So it's a fuck up if it is him.
So the fact that we're waiting, it has to be a big deal. Because I think if you just sit there and say after a month or so, it's Theory that's really going to fall flat. So I think it has to be like a really big deal, a debuting superstar or a top name or somebody who's about to take the next level. And we've heard speculation like some people threw out Ricky Saints, Montez Ford, and Chris Jericho, for example, as I just stated. So who do you think it actually is, and who do you want to be?
I'm gonna sound like a hater, and I'll tell you what. Because of his personal account during injury, I've never liked Austin Theory. Doesn't move the needle for me. Doesn't good looking guy, whatever. But someone it's all right, cool. Maybe it's just a heel. All right, cool. It's easy to boo. I want to see him come back as a babyface, and I think it's just obviously due to the rumors. I don't want it to be the obvious dangling carrot. I don't want it to be him. As long as it's not him, I'm happy. The idea of it being Jericho, I think is fucking awesome. Those two young Brons, Logan and Jericho, what the hell? Inner circle me now. Imagine him calling it that. This vision is, and they appreciate Jericho. There's so much good stuff they could do with it. And like you said, whether it's actually him or not, they could wait till that first Raw in January and say, boom, it's Jericho, because it could be whoever. I didn't the night of Survivor Series when it happened during the post show, hour after the post show, the next morning. I didn't think of Montez, but then I started seeing his name more and more and more and more. That's like number one, 1A, 1B, or top number two. Like that's who I wanted. Like I think it would be awesome. We've been wanting a singles run from him for I don't know how long. 2021
Day one ish.
Elimination Chamber. He did what was it? Elimination Chamber 21 or 22. He
It
had
was
that.
22 in the U.S. title match.
Yeah, I mean they went nuts for him, and then obviously they've been teasing the Profits breaking up, and we haven't got that. I think that would be awesome, and I think it'd be a real good look for it. Just like the aesthetic of that, like Bronson's big ass, Braun Breaker is a monster, Logan as everything he is in the background, and then Montez there. I mean, it's a cool looking group. I like that a lot. What say you?
I don't think it's Jericho. See, if it's Jericho, Jericho can't align with the vision because I think Chris Jericho coming back will overshadow what they're doing with Braun. So I don't think
if this is going to be his like finish up, why would we not make him a face? Like obviously he's always been arguably better as a heel in WWE, but I think his finale, like he's going to get cheered. Whether it's going to be almost Cody-esque. Like Jericho is just getting booed nonstop in AEW, but that's not going to matter. Once he comes back, he's going to get cheered. Once he comes home.
Yeah, no.
Now, what if it is Danhausen?
I'm turning the TV off. But if it is Jericho, it does make sense because you reignite that thing with Punk. Like we kept talking about if Chris Jericho does come back, or quote unquote retirement tour thing would be. And Punk is one of the guys that left in WWE that is actually one of his biggest rivals. But I don't think it's Jericho. Montez Ford, if it was him, I think that's pointless as well because you're essentially putting him back somewhat into a group when he's leaving a tag team. I think Montez Ford can kind of shine by himself. And now the other popular opinion is Ricky Saints, another young guy, another person who could be a big star in this company. But he's also somebody that I don't think that actually needs to be in that group either. Even though it's with a bunch of young upstarts, I don't think he needs a mouthpiece. We know he doesn't need that at all.
Like who really doesn't need to be in the group per se?
So, for example, like Bron and Bronson in the group, I can buy that. You know, like Bron, he's improved on the mic, yes. Bronson Reed doesn't really necessarily talk that much. So, like those two I could actually see together.
Well, but I'm not talking about the guys that are already in it. I'm just saying, like, who could be added? Like, who would benefit from being added to this?
Yeah, I don't think Montez really would. Like, now, granted, he could benefit from the shine of being with the group. But me personally, I just don't.
And being away from a tag team, like he needs to
be like a legit solo by himself.
Speaking of solo, it's a bad comparison, but like the MFTs, like it's 5 guys, but like you're not really thinking like, all right, you don't really think of any of them as a tag team because when they were part of the bloodline, like originally. Tama Tonga won the tag belt with Jacob Fatu, and Jacob gifted it to Tonga Loa when he came back. So then they were a tag team. They dropped it. Tama Tonga has been teasing that he's going to be, challenging like for the U.S. title. Solo's obviously always been the front man. Tala Tonga is doing stuff. So everyone's like by themselves. So like if Montez went, like obviously I thought like, if there was Seth was the world champion, and I thought they had a beautiful chance for, give the Brons the tag titles. They kind of had matching gear for a little bit, but due to Seth's injury, obviously everything's out the window. But I think you could get Montez in this, and it could just be a bunch of single stars. Or I only like the idea of like Bronson and Logan tag. Like put 2 guys that have like, it would benefit them to be doing something. And they're not, it's not like they're going back to a tag team. You don't think of either of them as a tag team guy. And obviously we haven't seen Braun Breaker as a tag guy, like on the main roster stint in NXT. So it's like, we don't really need him per se to be doing any tag work.
Yeah,
especially with Seth hurt.
Yeah, I'm stumped. I really am, because like I said, I have like, it's probably one of these guys I named, but I've kind of talked myself out of it being any of those guys, because I don't think any of them are actually kind of like really necessarily like benefits any of them. But if I had to give a guess, my guess would be it'll eventually be Jericho, because he's the big name that actually fits in with those guys that were in the War Games match and things like that. So if I had to guess, put money on it, my bet would be Chris Jericho.
Well, so that's your bet, but who would you want it to be?
I don't really necessarily have one, because like I said, like all the guys that it could be, I don't want them there. So I don't really have an answer to say.
But is there anyone you want? So there's no one you want there. You wish nobody came in.
No, I don't. I thought that match was entirely flat, and I didn't think it really needed anybody, but it gives a level of intrigue.
I'd argue
it could be theory.
If Bron could have just kept stomping on Punk, or could have like got that spear and won without that, I think that was better for everyone. You got fucking Brock Lesnar on your team, and you needed a sixth man.
Now let me say this: it probably is theory. And, you know, try to like
and
build
that sucks. That sucks.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. In theory, no pun intended.
And theory with Vince guy. Come on, Trip. What are you doing? Maybe Trip. Maybe you do suck. Go back to NXT. Send Sean up. He'll book. Oh fuck. Yeah. Sean Waltman wouldn't book this.
Because Bron is cooking in NXT. All right.
I mean?
So, all right. Also, at Survivor Series, you told about how much you love the IC title match. And in that match, we had the return of Liv Morgan. She helped Dominic regain the IC championship and made her return to the Judgment Day as well. And Liz Pat pointed out on Raw, well, last week on Raw, she interacted with Stephanie Vicaris saying she's coming for the title. But then this past week on Raw, Raquel, she inserted herself, and now she's going after the title. And Liv said, no, and now her and Roxy are a team. So, what are your thoughts on Liv Morgan returning?
Liv Morgan returning, fire. Love her. Has my entire heart. She has my entire heart. But
and with that, because Liv Morgan hands down was the MVP of 2024 for WWE. So now that she's back, Judgment Day was always a big topic of discussion on this show between me and you.
It's
for the
December.
Past year.
The screen says Judgment Day's plans revealed. What you just said, describing what happened on Raw. I don't think that's long-term plan. I think Stephanie's won the women's title. She's, besides Nikki, I think she's defended against maybe one other person. So she's got like two people she's beat. Raquel's about to be a fall girl. Raquel's about to look strong and take a L. And then Liv's going to go back and be the challenger. Liv's going to win the belt from her. So Liv and Roxy, they're going to do this little thing. Either I look at it like they're not winning the tag belts. They're going to tease this for a minute, and then Raquel's going to be back in this spot, or the group's going to explode. Liv and Roxy, no, I don't see this going nowhere.
All right. So Judgment Day with Liv Morgan and Dom, especially when their popularity has risen, they've been like the topic of the show. I know me and you have always enjoyed talking about them pretty much on every episode. And I'm not sure we're used to. I know I had Liv Morgan winning the Royal Rumble match. Now, when I saw her interact with Stephanie Vicaris last week, I was like, they're throwing this in there. But now this week on Raw, when Raquel inserted herself, it's like, oh, okay, I didn't know, because Raquel was always Liv's backup, but now Raquel is taking a step forward. She wants to challenge for the title, and Liv's taking a step back and teaming Roxy. So things changed while Liv was gone. That's a good storyline right there when it comes to the Judgment Day right there in itself. And the whole thing with Liv and Roxy, because it's like Roxy was kind of like flirting with Dom a little bit, and the interaction with Dom and things like that. That adds another layer to this. And then Roxy got the victory on Roman against Lyra with help from Liv. Like I said, they'll probably push that whole tag team thing up to the Royal Rumble. But I do think Liv eventually does win the Royal Rumble match and challenge for the title at WrestleMania. And we talked about this too. I think at the end of this, Liv and Dom are going to be the biggest baby faces in the company. What do you think about that?
I definitely. I mean, Dom is just more over every week. You think of the heat he had, the boos he used to get, and just look at now when nothing's changed about his character. He's one of the most over guys in the company.
Absolutely.
And him and Liv easily could step away, leave those other four in the dust. The worst men's tag team champions of all time, Finn Balor and JD, leave them in the dust, and Raquel and Roxy, the hard R's, they put them together and leave those four. They're the judgmental day, and Liv and Dom go on to be Mr. and Mrs. First President.
All right, Bessie. So you a wild boy in your
And
heyday,
now forever.
in your wild day at least. Which way you going?
Liv.
without hesitation.
Well, I'm going Rhea before Roxy, but Roxy, I respect your game. All I'll say is Survivor Series. That entrance.
And of course,
that entrance could have rewrote history.
And of course, the infamous follow that Liv Morgan used to do on Instagram. Is she still follow you or no?
Nah, man. So when the podcast started, when Matt Madness Wrestling podcast started, she followed me for like the first 2 years of the pod. I'll be completely honest. I never said in the show. I did tell her I was going to give her Jordans, but I think that's why.
You didn't come through, babe. All right, so we have Saturday. We had John Cena's last match at Saturday Night Main Event this Saturday. The rumor is going around that allegedly he put in the show. Gunther, allegedly. Yeah. That's what I've seen, but we'll see.
Family closes.
See that with a grain of salt. So we're going to start here. John Cena's final match. So the final time we'll be talking about a John Cena match.
15 moves of decency.
John Cena and Gunther. Now, we talked about the tournament. Rumors were running wild that Gunther would be the guy for months. Now, do you think Gunther was the right guy for this?
Yes and no. I'm not mad that it's him. And I get it. Gunther is, by all means, he's main event marquee. So it's like I was a big mark for the idea of like the IC title being on the line. And if it wasn't going to be somebody young, upstart that hasn't done anything, like cool, still make it important. But then like, all right, what are you going to do? Make Gunther demote him after a 2-time world champion to make him IC champion again? I don't know. I mean, he's already made, so I would argue that's the biggest complaint. And like Cena faced all his big time rivals. So like, does Orton need to beat him? Does Punk need to beat him? Like, who's active? Like, it's not like it's Shawn versus Flair. This isn't Baron Corbin, but this is like Gunther's not going to be Baron Corbin retiring Angle, with all due respect. So it's a cool feather in Gunther's hat. He'll be able to say at the end of 25, he won the world title. He was world champion 2 different times during the year, and he defeated two greats. One of the greatest WWE champions of all time and one of the greatest WCW champions of all time. I mean, that's a feather in the cap. Say all the bad things you want about WWE booking in 2025, but Gunther, you could say at the end of the day, was booked like a rock star. He may have lost a match or two, but he'll retire 2 greats, and he was world champion twice during that year.
You started exactly where I was going to go. He's already a made guy. Now, let's try to make this guy bigger, then fine, but he's already pretty much established. He was the longest reigning IC champion, former heavyweight champion of the world.
But his end is not in the near future. Not sorry to cut you off.
Yeah. So he was promoting the match on First Take. There was a great clip when he found out that Goldberg was Stephen A's favorite wrestler, which I did pop for. But I thought that somebody
Is that this week? Or
What?
this is over the summer?
What about Gunther on
About
ESPN? That
Stephen
was
A.
today. That
Oh,
was
that's
today.
today. Oh,
Well,
okay.
Stephen A. has always said that, but Gunther
Yeah, I
said
know.
it today.
I seen that on his
From TV.
Rushmore. I think he always leaves him as like number 4, or like he's like I think when he does the list, he saves him for last.
Yeah, Gunther Goldberg's always number 1. He's been 100% with that one. But Gunther is already been like a made guy already. Now, unless you want to make a bigger guy, then fine. Because like the way I thought this could have been reserved for the guy that's going to be like your next top guy who's yet to somewhat establish himself completely. Like, this would have been perfect for Bron Breakker, in my opinion. Bron,
For sure.
Because if you're pushing Bron Breakker to the moon, getting him ready for that heavyweight championship match against Punk, you have him retire John Cena. He can get that feather under his cap. So I thought Bron Breakker would be a perfect example for this. Now, I think the match would be really good. I think we're going to get everything we got left for John Cena. John Cena even talked about that on Chris Van Vliet show about how he can't keep up, but he gives everything he had, especially when it came to that match with Cody at SummerSlam. So, you have to think that expectations for Gunther after this are going to be higher than the moon, because this is the hell of a feather to have.
He's about to kill Superman.
And he also talked about that in his promo. He's like, I'm going to do the one thing that you haven't done. I'm going to make you give up. So that's also something that we can actually sink our teeth into. Like, well, John Cena actually give up. You know, he might pass out. We might get Super Cena. But at the end of the day, how is Gunther going to prevail in this match? Because I'm 100% sure that Gunther's winning this match.
Almost Vince-esque, but like obviously, we can wrestling always rewrites history. So Jericho, Angle, and the artist formerly known as Chris Benoit have all made Angle tap out, or Cena tap out. My apologies. So like Gunther's like, all right, like I'm gonna forget that. Like that doesn't matter. That didn't happen. That was a lifetime ago. So he's like, yo, you've never given up. I don't like the idea of seeing it happen. Like, there's the meme, like, yeah, is Gunther going to be the 4th person? I think it's a horrible way to go out. All right, sure, maybe in the choke. I think he's got to go to sleep. If he's not getting pinned, he needs to go to sleep.
Yeah, I think if I had to pick how to match for him, I think he's going to sleep.
Because at the end of the day, sure, do the favors on your way out, but yo, you just sold 5,700 million thousand never give up t-shirts this year in 43 different colors, and then you just give up.
Yeah, I don't think he gives up. I think he passes out. Now I think that we're going to get the whole drop of the hand thing, and it's like he's gonna power up or whatever. But I do.
Is he going to Terry?
Yes, I do think he's going to Hulk up. But I do think inevitably that he is going to pass out, and that's how his career ends, because he didn't give up. And that's the whole slogan for him. So I'm going with Gunther to win this match, and I'm assuming that you're going the same.
Yeah, Walter's going to get that W.
Yeah. Now, will this hold a candle to Sting's last match is the question.
Will this hold a candle to what? Oh, Sting's?
Sting, yeah.
I need the pomp and circumstance. We're
gonna get it.
I don't want Washington Bullets colored T-shirt. I don't want Washington Wizards colored T-shirt. I want a fucking jersey. I mean, I don't want these ALP sneakers. I don't even know what they are. You suicidal creep. Cena, you gotta stop wearing them bad. I want some pumps, some J's. I want him to leave pumps in the ring, but or sneakers, whatever. I love the funny meme. He's got to leave his jorts in the ring. I like the idea. Somebody said, because it's Saturday night's main event a year later. Cena last year, or Cody last year, came out with the winged eagle. What if he comes out with the spinner?
True, that'd be a nice touch
on this show of all shows.
It really. Amazing how we started. All the hate. Now we love you. All right. So another match that I'm very interested in seeing, because John Cena wanted to make this.
Remember the John Cena swear jar to buy a spinner belt?
Yes. And it never got bought.
Shout out to
Which is
Prep. He
crazy.
got the belt. 2020.
He does, not from the jar. But a match I'm looking forward to a lot, and John Cena specifically said he wanted to kind of showcase some talents from NXT, and that is Cody Raheem Rhodes taking on the new NXT champion, Obafemi.
Rare air
And
of
John
being a
Cena,
multi-time world NXT champion.
yeah, and John Cena
Should have
talked
been
about
Obafemi versus Cena for the record, but let's keep going.
that's a good one too. I'm not mad about that. I do like that. Now, Cena talked about Saturday Night Main Event having exhibition matches, and it's good to have that sometimes, especially with a couple one-offs from different shows. So it's good to have that. And I know Cody's going to win, but do you think there's a world where Obafemi wins this match?
I think Obafemi is going to win.
Because the people that they picked,
listen,
the people that they picked for these matches, I know pretty much these are like the next ones up for them.
We love Bailey. I love Bailey. I'm going to run through the other matches. There's only 2 other matches. Respectfully, the tag titles aren't on the line. Cool. Like, can the young 21-year-old guys beat up AJ Styles and Dragon Lee? I could give a damn. That match is going to be entertaining. I love Bailey so much. Maybe more than I love Liv. But she's going to do the favors to Soul. Good for Soul. Poor Soul. She was a double champion, loses both without getting pinned, but now she's about to, go over on big booty Bailey. So awesome. The NXT. This is what the cool thing about the exhibition. The NXT title and the WWE Championship are not on the line. Obafemi is going to beat Cody, and that is going to be the biggest thing. Like, if you think about how there's going to be outside of WrestleMania, this is going to be one of the biggest like casual fan watching shows ever. And people are going to be like, yo, who the fuck is this monster that just beat the WWE champion? It's going to be a good match. I think Oba's going to win. And we're all going to be thinking, what the hell's next for him? Because I'm thinking Cody's dropping the belt to Drew finally. Because if not, like, they're still feuding. Like, how's this feud going to go on and on and on? And he never drops. He's got to drop it, I would assume. But, dude, and I was not day one on Oba. I was like halfway through his North American title reign for me. Like, and then shout out to O'Shea Jackson, his podcast. Obafemi's been on there twice. That also helped me.
He was talking to me.
He talked to you a couple times in the streets.
All right, so I'm gonna pick Obafemi just for the hell of it, because if there's a time
Remember I
to
started
put somebody over, it's Obafemi. So I'm gonna go with Obafemi to win this match. Now, you talked about it just a second ago. Bailey wants to go on Soul Ruka in a women's showcase match. Now, you talked about this just a second ago.
This looks like me playing in a crayon box.
Now, what kind of friend loses both your titles? Get the fuck out of here. Now, the kiss made up on NXT this past week. Now, give me your thoughts. We talked about Soul Ruka in passing, but not too in depth. What do you think about Soul Ruka?
I'm more of a fan of her more and more. Like, when she started, like, I was like, cool, like it's a cool finishing move, but I don't know. There was a Busted Open After Dark African title, and her and Bully were talking, and I could tell this might not have been her thing when she was, all right, cool, this is what I want to be, but I saw some passion in that interview, and I was like, all right, cool, maybe there's something there. I should pay more attention to her. Then when I saw her bouncing around with the 2 belts, and I thought over, obviously I think the X deal ended with the speed title or whatever, but like I thought she was the first person that on TV that ever showed the speed title. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So she keeps showing it and she was talking it. And I'm just like, yo, this chick's running around with 2 belts for a while. So I'm a fan. I felt bad about the injury and whatever happened, but I think the world of her, and I'd like to see what's up next for her. But this is my crayon box right here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this match. They picked the perfect person to put her in there with. So I'm really looking forward to the match. Now, Soul Ruka, like I said, like I watch NXT. I think it's the best TV show in wrestling right now at the moment. So I said I've watched her steady climb as a competitor. Like we talked about the match he had with Kalani Jordan last year at one of the NXT events. We kept talking about it, how really good it was. And ever since then, she's taken off. Now, like you talked about the speed title, when the X deal show ended, that she started bringing it on TV for the first time, and actually, it was actually acknowledged for the first time really on TV, like shown. But I really do like Sol Ruka. I think she's like one of the next ones up, as I stated, when it came to Obafemi and Javon Evans and Leon Slater, who they're laying the red carpet out for right now. But I do think, I'm not sure if Sol's going to win this match, because Zarya is supposed to be here, because Sol did invite Zarya to the match, SRS main event. I'm not sure if Lyra's going to be ringside with Bayley. But
good, because my Bayley don't need no more damn L's. But
if it's an even level playing field, I'm gonna pick Sol to win this match.
Yeah, I mean, in a weird way, I don't know if it does anyone really favors, but definitely Vince wouldn't do it. But in a weird way, like I could see all the NXT talent getting W's. And if I'm wrong, then Sol's the only one that gets a W.
Well, this next match, you talked about, it was announced as a tag team match, but as of today, WWE on their website is advertising this as for the tag team championship. Now, then
I would assume AJ Lee retains.
So this is something that I got my eye on, because WWE, they are laying up the red carpet for Leon Slater. They're giving him the Joe Hendry treatment at this point. Two young NXT stars for him and Javon Evans has been on SmackDown.
It's one thing for someone to hold an NXT and a TNA title, but somebody hold a TNA and a WWE title?
Yes. So this is something that I'm really interested about, because as you know, WWE are really high on Javon Evans. He would compete in the last Times Now tournament. Even prior, he's been on SmackDown a few times. Now Leon Slater, this is pretty much his first taste in prime time, and we all know that. I'm not sure if you saw a Slammiversary that he had that interaction with AJ Styles, and always talked about how he looked up to him and watched him as a kid in the X division. So this is something I've got my eye on, and I can easily see a scenario where Javon and Leon win the tag team titles here. If this is for the tag team titles, because everybody's website has to now advertise it for that.
I'm always here for a title change, and AJ Lee as a tag team don't do much for me. So,
yeah, I thought it was an odd pairing originally. So when they won it, I was like, "Oh, really?"
I don't like to know. There's no formal breakup of LWO. I don't know what's going on with them. It doesn't look like Ray has their entrance music no more. Dragon Lee was part of that, and then the actual tag team that was in the group, they just disappeared. I mean, rough for them. Feel bad for them, but yeah, I couldn't care less about AJ Lee. Give the two young 21-year-olds the tag straps.
Yeah, and also to add to my Triple H tidbit from earlier, tag team wrestling all across the board has been shit. Sorry to say
it. Look, you tried just touting that the NXT is the greatest wrestling weekly show. I couldn't tell you the last time the NXT Tag Championships mattered.
It's been a long time since tag team titles have mattered in any company for the most part.
Look, all right, Raw's been doing dog shit. SmackDown, you don't see them. AEW, I'd say we'll try. Thank God they're back on FTR right now. That should save them. But NXT, those things are beyond forgotten. I'd argue the last time they were memorable was Bron Breakker and Baron Corbin.
The Wolf Dogs, they were fun.
They were awesome.
They were really fun. They were really fun. But yeah, we've gotten some good tag team championship matches, like that TLC match from WrestleMania SmackDown with the Street Profits, awesome. The TLC match from SummerSlam, awesome. We're gonna have a couple to talk about, because those are both a match of the year contenders, in my opinion. We'll see if I make the top 5, but definitely excellent matches. Go ahead.
Speaking of tag teams, speaking of Austin Theory, speaking of the Eagles, Speaking of podcasts and speaking of what we've watched, listened to lately, Chris Van Vliet, have you listened to Grayson Waller on there?
No.
Look, he's a heel. He's running with the New Day. I can't wait for him to be a babyface. He might be my new favorite wrestler. His podcast with him, look, he's the man. He's the man. That's all I'm going to say. He's the man.
I've always heard good things about him.
He's the man. He's the man.
I'll have to get
from that time they did the international press show, and he sized up the cameraman with LA Knight. I was like, all right, cool. Then his Eagles fandom, all right, cool. But yeah, he's the man. He loves what he does, and he deserves more. I wish it was him underneath the thing.
Anything else for me?
Nope.
All right, guys. So that's it for the show. Make sure to turn your post notifications, like, thumbs up, and leave some comments. Anything for the algorithm. Ringside Collectibles, code MN to save 10% off your order. So I'm Aloy Lloyd. That's X2 Flyer Ultra Mickey, and we will see you guys soon.
Got him now, put him down right now, hit him with the palm handle. Tuning up the band, y'all don't understand. Fist of Superman, it's a Summer Slam. Here we go again. Fans marking man, I hate my balls. Shut the Vince McMahon, and they shake the land off the cell. Fans love it, ain't hard to tell. Talking madness, awesome. Well, what I'm cooking, man, y'all off the smell.